coming up. Canyon Fire 2 may have simmered down in Orange County, but the Tubbs Fire continues to scorch through Northern California without mercy.
Plus, we get a first-hand point of view from one of the attendees of the Route 91 concert.
And the latest on the sexual harassment allegations involving former film producer Harvey Weinstein. All that and more coming up on Chapman News. Good afternoon, Orange County. I'm Brenny Seipoltz.
And I'm Michael Hofling, and welcome to Chapman News. We begin today with the devastating fires that are still sweeping across California. The worst are in Northern California, specifically Sonoma and Napa. Consider these statistics: 31 people have already been declared dead, and officials believe that number will continue to grow before the fire finally fades. The fire, over 6 times the size of San Francisco, has already destroyed thousands of homes and businesses, and at this point, fire officials are just trying to contain the fire. But due to the strong winds and low humidity, it's becoming harder and harder for them to do so. Official reports state that the fire may not be extinguished for another 5 days at least.
And now on to the Canyon Fire. Earlier this week, hundreds of Orange County residents were forced to evacuate their homes due to one of the largest brush fires in Southern California history. The so-called Canyon Fire 2 was 60% contained as of Thursday morning, but the effects can still be felt throughout Orange County. Our reporter Haley Haskell has more.
Firefighters are still working to contain the Canyon Fire 2 that broke out Monday morning in Anaheim Hills, eventually reaching Orange by the afternoon. Orange County Fire Authority said over 1,400 firefighters responded to the fire. The blaze burned over 9,000 acres and destroyed 25 structures while damaging another 48. Over 16,000 people were evacuated from affected areas in Anaheim Hills, Orange, and North Tustin. One Anaheim Hills resident went out for breakfast and was later unable to return to her home.
I went out very early in the morning to go have breakfast at Marie Callender's. I was all dressed up. My cat needed food. I went out and the sky went boom with a black cloud, and it was slightly behind me. I was near Weir Canyon, so and the wind was vicious, like Anaheim Hills winds are, very strong and blowing the fire further down Santa Ana Canyon Road. Because of Santa Ana Canyon Road and the fire coming that way, I never got home. I haven't been home since.
Most evacuees were allowed to return home Tuesday evening, with the remaining residents allowed to return Wednesday night. With so many affected by the evacuation orders, the owner of Orange's Catella Grill decided to provide free meals to all evacuees Monday night.
Well, for us, it's a no-brainer. I mean, we've been here for over 20 years. We've been supported by the community. I'm born and raised here, so many of my friends, my neighbors, they come from the areas that are affected. And as a kid, I remember having to evacuate and get ready to go, and it's pretty traumatic. So, this was just a little opportunity for us to take care of the neighbors who take care of us for the last 2 decades.
As of today, the fire is 65% contained, but firefighters are still working towards full containment and to control hotspots and flare-ups. Full containment is expected by Saturday. Reporting from Orange, California, this is Haley Haskell and Alexis Rodriguez.
The Las Vegas shooting on October 1st hits close to home for many Chapman students. The shooting is described as the largest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. First-year law student Ariel Romero is recovering from surgery and non-life-threatening injuries after being shot in the jaw at the festival. Chapman Jr. Frieda Freeman shares about the horror she witnessed that weekend with our reporter Caitlin Moore.
We're just singing along, absolutely everything's normal. When he's almost done with the song, we hear like pop, pop, pop. It just like pops that were separated more. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just like one after another, and that's when everyone thought it was like firecrackers or fireworks. And everything was fine. thought it was a terrorist attack. We thought there was literally someone waiting in every single hotel. We had texted our parents, luckily, as we were running right away. I heard people on the phone with their loved ones saying, I love you, I just want to say goodbye just in case anything happens. So I looked to my sister, I was like, we need to text our parents, we need to tell them we're safe. And I remember we stopped at one point, and I just like looked at my hands, and I was like, this isn't real, I'm in a dream. The news has a very specific way of sharing things. They want to say everybody was being a hero, they want to say that everyone came together, and in all reality, like, it really wasn't. Like, people, as my sister said, it was every man for themselves out there. I see different videos like of taxi drivers that were there, and everyone was just hearing the shots and no one was moving. Everyone was just like, oh, what is that? Like, waiting till they heard hundreds and hundreds of shots to be able to make a move. Definitely changed my perspective. There's no way I'm ever going to a country concert again. Can't even listen to country music since it happened. Like, there's no way I'm going to go in an open space like that. And people say, like, but you have to live your life. And it's like, yeah, but at least I'm living my life right now. Big and Rich brought up veterans on stage, had them come up, explained how long they were serving for, who they were, where they're from. They had a drink with Big and Rich up there on stage, and then we all sang God Bless America.
Sing God bless America.
I wanted to go up front. We had got there that day at 2, which is like right when the concert starts. And I said, oh, we're here early. Like, we can get up really close. So we can be up close like when Jason Aldean comes on. And in the front was where most of the people ended up getting hurt. That's where the shots were more fired towards. And my sister had said, no, I don't want to deal with the crowds. I don't want to go in the front. Let's just stay in the middle like we've always been. And if we hadn't been in the middle there, I don't know how fast we would have been able to get out. And I don't even know if I'd be sitting here telling you this story right now. But just certain decisions we made, even down to like what I was wearing to help me run away, the fact that I was wearing cowboy boots, a lot of people were wearing sandals. Like, thank God I was wearing cowboy boots and was able to like jump over rocks and all this stuff while we were dealing with everything, and just every little decision. It's definitely difficult. Like, watching now, we'll watch videos showing the pictures of all the people who passed away, and it's weird because my sister and I will talk and we'll be like, isn't that the man we saw like standing in front of the stage right before we went on? It's just so much more personal when you've seen these people and when you've been in the same experience with them, and they were all there for the same reason I was.
Even if you don't know them personally, you still have seen that face. You knew that 2 hours ago, 20 minutes ago, nothing was going through their brain at all.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you heard about the story of that man, Sonny, who protected his wife and ended up dying because he was shot in the back. He covered her. Like, I remember seeing them like 4 hours before. I remember them walking by because they showed a picture of them at the concert. I remember seeing the wife in that exact outfit. I remember seeing him wearing that hat, and it's just like burned in my memory. It's crazy for me to think that I saw those people. We were all having a good time, and then now I'm here and he's not. We didn't even think to look back. We knew it was like that fight or flight instinct that kicks in right away. You hear shots and you just go. It is miraculous that we got out of there without even a scratch, because people who even were with us were still falling to the ground because they were running and they couldn't keep their balance, or because the adrenaline was kicking in and they fell and they hurt their knee or twisted their ankle or something like that. This was like one of the hardest experiences obviously I've ever been through. I've never been through anything like this. Never even heard a gunshot in real life, let alone an automatic gun like that being shot at me. It just really changes your perspective. I know, like, I appreciate everything so much more. Every friend that I've seen, I give them like an even longer hug because I honestly didn't know if I was going to see them again.
For Frida and the other 20,000 concert goers, witnessing the largest mass murder in the U.S. since 9/11 was nothing short of a nightmare. We cannot begin to imagine what you all have gone through, and we commend your courage.
The Harvey Weinstein sexual assault scandal continues to grow as more women come forward. The New York Times reports that upwards of 27 women have now spoken out against the former Hollywood producer. Our reporter Alexis Sutterman has the details.
Hollywood movies are known for their villains. So is Hollywood and the television business. An expose published by the New York Times last week revealed that, according to numerous sources, Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein committed sexual harassment and assault for years, settling claims from some of his victims. 19 women, including A-listers Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie, and Rosanna Arquette, shared stories ranging from unwanted touching to forced oral and vaginal sex. Stars say this was usually done in Weinstein's hotel room after business meetings turned into threats and manipulation.
Right. We have a conversation for a long time about art and politics and movies. He goes to the bathroom and he comes back in a robe and asks me to give him a massage.
And the evidence is piling up. In an audio recording released by The New Yorker, Weinstein admits to groping Filipina-Italian model Ambra Gutierrez.
Here for a minute, please.
No, I don't want to.
Come on, I'm used to that. Come on.
Are you used to that?
Yes, come in.
No, but I'm not used to that.
The New Yorker's 10-month investigation reported 13 other stories in detail. Weinstein was fired from his company 3 days after the New York Times story broke. At first, he attempted to sue the newspaper, but then quickly announced an apology and a leave of absence. This week, figures including Meryl Streep, George Clooney, and Barack Obama have condemned Weinstein, calling his behavior disgusting. Actor Colin Firth described the news as a jolting wake-up for Hollywood. But many claim Hollywood was not in the dark. At least 16 executives and assistants say his mistreatment of women was known at both Miramax and the Weinstein Company for over 20 years, and that it was knowledge throughout Hollywood.
Congratulations, you 5 ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein.
Most people say they were silent due to fear of Weinstein's power. After all, Weinstein had been praised for years for his Oscar nominations and his ability to make award-winning movies and their stars.
I would like to thank Harvey Weinstein.
And then there were his generous contributions and fundraising for liberal causes, most recently Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Investigators at The New Yorker say Weinstein's PR team also paid off journalists and threatened to sue news outlets.
Any negative story that was going to be printed about him, any card he could play, any tool he could use to get that story not to appear in print.
He also threatened victims directly, warning of hundreds of $1,000 lawsuits. But in the wake of accounts about Bill O'Reilly, Roger Ailes, Bill Cosby, Woody Allen, and President Donald Trump, some women in Hollywood are tired of the silence. Now so many are becoming empowered to speak their truth to a world that is finally listening. For Chapman News, I'm Alexis Sutterman.
At this point, it is unclear if Weinstein will face criminal charges. On Thursday, the New York Police Department said that the case is still under investigation, and they encouraged anyone with new information to come forward.
This week in international news, Caitlin Moore explains the current situation on the fight for regional independence in Spain and disaster relief in Puerto Rico. Take a look.
In Catalonia, the eastern region of Spain that is home to Barcelona, the people gathered to vote on a referendum of independence from Spain. The referendum has come about mostly due to poor tax distribution and a lack of respect, according to Catalan leaders. The voters were met by Spanish civil guard who reportedly shut down over 300 of the 2,000 voting centers and injured a little over 800 people. According to BBC, 90% of those who showed up to polling stations voted for independence. But this number only represents 37% of the registered voters of Catalonia. Spanish officials say the vote is illegal and deny a vote has even taken place. Updates on Puerto Rico. Things are still quite chaotic. Puerto Rican resident and the father of our very own Jessica Metter explains.
Pharmacies are opening up, and of course, they're on diesel. Diesel seems to be flowing much better now, seems to be more of a routine, which is kind of how people are going. If you have a generator, you can survive. If you don't have a generator, you're pretty much looking for a friend that does have one. But I think this week everybody kind of came to the realization that's not today. This is going to be a while, so.
However, several efforts are taking way in order to restore what has been damaged and lost. In Atlanta, local Sofia Arroyo, of Puerto Rican descent, acts by combining smaller groups into one larger platform for help that she calls Puerto Recovery. With a common ground of wanting to send aid to their families back at home, this group comes together to collect shipments to send to the island. Still, many feel very helpless at the fact that they can't physically be there to make a personal connection. Reporting live from Orange County, this is Caitlin Moore with Chapman News.
Since the recording of that video, Catalonian leaders have agreed to hold off on a referendum to have peace talks with the leaders of Spain. As for Puerto Rico, FEMA is currently on location as tensions between President Trump and the United States territory increase.
Tensions are also rising in the tech world. Online retail giant Amazon is looking to fend off package thieves once and for all. But the rumor of their tactic has some consumers very worried. Robert Rosenfeld breaks down this story and all of the biggest tech headlines on this week's Week in Tech.
Adam, what's after this?
Hot off the heels of a summer of lukewarm debuts, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Apple has struck a deal with mega Hollywood director Steven Spielberg to bolster their original video content. The report claims that Apple is working with Spielberg to create new episodes of Amazing Stories, a sci-fi horror series that ran on NBC in the 1980s. Apple's betting big on creating original content, reportedly paying over $50 million for the 10-episode reboot. And all this comes after Apple's first two original productions, Planet of the Apps and Carpool Karaoke, launched this summer with kind of mixed reviews from customers. Rumor has it that Amazon is looking to fight back against package thieves with the release of a new smart home doorbell system designed specifically for Amazon delivery personnel. Sources say that Amazon is working with multiple companies to produce high-tech devices that would allow temporary access for delivery drivers, either to leave a package in the trunks of cars or even in a secure location inside of your home. Amazon is currently delivering packages, produce, and many expensive items to customers' doors, and security systems are capturing a growing number of package thieves swiping the valuables in broad daylight. The Seattle-based tech giant is also currently testing a drone delivery program set to launch sometime in the next few years. And the push for self-driving cars moves forward as the California DMV announced that it will allow autonomous vehicles to be tested on state roads next year. The revised regulations will allow vehicles without steering wheels, mirrors, and even human drivers out on the road for public testing. Currently, 45 companies are testing fleets of autonomous vehicles across the state, with big-name companies like Uber, Apple, and Google investing hundreds of millions of dollars in R&D to promote a driverless future. There are currently 285 autonomous vehicles registered to drive in the Golden State. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and that's The Week in Tech.
We at Chapman News would like to offer our condolences to a member of the Chapman family. 6-year-old Carter Ankeny, an honorary member of the Chapman baseball team, lost his battle to acute lymphoblastic leukemia this past Sunday. Coach Scott Laverty took a moment to remember the Panthers' youngest player.
Carter brought more to us than we did to him. Carter was just battling. He didn't know any better at that young age, and so he was just vivacious, fun, sense of humor, and so right away, he really wasn't shy. There might have been just that first 5 minutes of the first practices were just kind of introducing him and stuff like that, and that was it.
Sad to see something like that happen. If you would like to help Carter's family, there is a GoFundMe set up in Carter's honor. There will be a memorial at the end of this month, but a date has not yet been made.
Stay tuned for an interview with a local Chapman student who was evacuated from his home during Canyon Fire 2.
And looking live out at the Atala Piazza, looks like smoke is cleared and it's a beautiful day. Jessica Mather will have our full weather forecast after this.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
Finally, we found his assignment. He rushed through it. I wonder if he even learned anything.
I wasn't gonna get it right, so I just wanted to get back to playing my video game. At least I'm good at that.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just gotta
I'm trying as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Take your life to new heights. Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
Countless students had to evacuate their homes on Monday due to Canyon Fire 2. Chapman student Sam Hampton is here with us today to share his experience. Sam, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome to have you here with us. Thank you very much.
So, can you walk us through your experience on Monday? What were you thinking when you stepped outside that morning and saw the sky?
Absolutely. So I walked outside around maybe 9:30 and it looked pretty clear, and then I came back out around 10 and I saw a huge plume of smoke just billowing right over the canyon, and it was super close. And so I talked to my roommates and we didn't really know what was going on, and so we checked the news, and it said that there was a canyon fire, and so we didn't really know what to do after that. So we were just kind of checking the news, and things just started to escalate, and they just got worse from there.
And then, so something I wanted to know was how soon, or did you even expect to have to be evacuated from this?
We didn't really expect to be evacuated. We thought that we were just going to be able to stay home and maybe just sit through it. But as things got worse, we stepped outside and we talked to our neighbors, and our neighbors said, you know, they were packing things and they were getting ready to move and to evacuate, and then that's when we kind of knew that we needed to take steps to get ready.
And so what was it like in your neighborhood? You said people were also evacuating. Was it chaotic? How were your feelings during that time?
It was strange, because my street's normally pretty calm. It's really nice, and people were panicked. People were driving much faster. People were kind of just in a hurry, kind of bustling to their cars, throwing things in, just kind of the essentials or different things that they thought were important. So it was an interesting experience.
How were your sort of materials affected? Your house, your belongings, is everything all right?
Yeah, the house is okay, thankfully. It was, gosh, the smoke outside, it came inside, and so the inside was really smoky when we came back to the house. There was a ton of ash all over the surrounding areas. Our cars were really, really ashy. But other than that, thankfully, it's okay.
I'm so glad to hear that all your stuff is fully intact in your house and everyone in your house is okay.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely. That's the most important thing, is just safety in these situations.
Yeah,
Definitely. Thank you for coming in to share your story with us, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully there's some more positive weather updates this week. Jess, what do you have for us over in the Weather Center?
Thanks, Bren. Canyon Fire 2 left many of us wondering if our air is safe to breathe, and rightfully so. Moderate Santa Ana winds will bring critical fire weather conditions late Saturday morning through midday Sunday, with humidity lowering to 8 to 12% Saturday and 5 to 10% Sunday. Low humidity may lead to dry skin, irritated throat, and itchy eyes, so be careful while outdoors in Orange this weekend. Other than that, the current temperature is sunny and 82 degrees out there today with completely clear skies and some very light wind. Later in the night, the temperature will drop to 58 degrees, so make sure you pack a jacket if you plan on being outside tonight. Taking a look at the Orange County map, inland temperatures are significantly lower than they were last week, with lows in the 70s and 80s with some light winds. And if you're headed to the beach, make sure you pack a blanket, as you'll experience a sunny day with temperatures hovering in the low 70s. Now let's take a look at the rest of Southern California. Palm Springs finally down from triple-digit temperatures with a high of 91 with light winds. Anaheim and LA are also cooling off from last week with lows in the 80s. And if you're trying to catch some rays, head over to Santa Barbara or San Diego, which will remain in the 80s for the weekend. As for the 5-day outlook of Orange, it will cool off today with a low of 58, but temperatures will rise back up again tomorrow or throughout the weekend. We start at 82 degrees today, rising to 88 tomorrow, heating up to 91 degrees Sunday, 88 on Monday, and 85 on Tuesday. With all this sunny weather, it's tempting to spend all weekend outdoors, but remember to seek fresh air and stay safe. That's all I have for you in the Weather Center, and now to Tim with sports.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Best Campus Sports Show. I'm Tim Wolf. You might be saying, wait, doesn't that Michael guy usually do sports? Yeah, but Michael got a promotion this week, and now he's the big man at the anchor desk. So, I'm here to take over the Best Campus Sports Show and take it to new heights in his absence. I hope I finally make you proud, Michael. After a 2-1 loss to Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday night, the U.S. men's soccer team failed to qualify for the World Cup. Trinidad stuck struck first in popping a nice shot over the head of U.S. goalie Tim Howard and followed it up with a beautiful 37-foot strike. The Americans finally got their one goal from the 19-year-old phenom from Dortmund, Christian Pulisic. Unfortunately, that proved to be the only goal that they could generate on the night, and U.S. men's soccer falls 2-1. This is the very first time since 1986 that the United States will not be in the World Cup. Just to give that some context, the highest grossing movie in 1986 was Top Gun. Yeah, it's been that long since we were this bad at soccer. American soccer fans are obviously extremely disappointed by this failure, and many members of the American media called out the U.S. soccer program for its failures.
The Red Sox fired their manager who won the division. If he managed U.S. men's national team soccer, they would have given him a 9-year extension because our standards are weak.
U.S. coach Bruce Arena expressed his disappointment after the game, saying this loss leaves a bad mark on the United States soccer team.
It's disappointing. It's a blemish for us. We should not be staying home for this World Cup. And I take the responsibility for that.
Not only is this a blemish for American soccer, but losing so many viewers in the United States is going to hurt FIFA as well. During the 2014 World Cup, Team USA drew up to 18 million viewers in their games, and with the United States out of the World Cup contention, soccer will suffer when those numbers inevitably go down. Here at home, the Chapman men's soccer team has been playing great ball as of late, winners of three straight and 6 of their last 8. However, as the conference playoffs approach, every game becomes more and more vital. With Chapman currently sitting in second place, it seems like a must-win each time out. On Wednesday, they played Claremont Mud Scripps. Here are the highlights. It was a back-and-forth affair through the contest. Every shot Chapman had was an equally good save from Sean Augustine. Here, Elliot Braun gets a chance and knocks it over the goal. And immediately after, Sean Augustine is able to punch the ball out of danger. Still scoreless. That is until Elliot Braun, with his Skyac leading 8th goal of the season, puts Chapman up 1. Their goalie played that one poorly, but Chapman's goalie, Sean Augustine, continued his domination. I guess those blindfolded penalty kicks really helped him out. Look at that. Punch, catch, save. He can get them all. But eventually the Stags pepper Augustine enough to get one through, and they tie it up. But that's short-lived. Only moments later, it's Charlie Raymond with his first goal of the year, and that's a big one. Chapman holds on to get the victory. The men's team will look to continue their dominance when they resume play tomorrow at Whittier. They beat Whittier earlier this year 4-1, but at this point in the season, you can never take anyone too lightly. Now, I know I didn't get to see it last week. You didn't get to see it last week, but I went toe-to-toe with Joe Muti and almost won. No, really, I almost won. It was great. If you want to see that, go here, check out my Twitter. I'll be putting it up after the show. That made Michael pretty angry, and he wanted to get back out there and try to become the first person, host that is, to beat an athlete. This week, it was Kevin Dyan, a junior water polo player from Brazil. And whenever Michael does water polo, you know that leopard print is coming out.
Thanks, Tim. I'm here with Athlete of the Week, Kevin Dyan. And Kevin, you've been on an absolute tear, and I have not been. I have never beaten an athlete, but I think this might change this week. Last year against Jeff O'Brien, I couldn't win, but this time, I'm locked and loaded. 3 shots each. We'll see who gets the best score. Let's go. You feeling that? You got both of those, right? You got the whole thing? Oh, 1 for 3. That's doable. That's doable. He thinks he's going to get them all. He's not. You guys haven't had quite the season you're hoping for, but what's the outlook for the rest of the season?
I think we have really good chances of winning the conference. Our team is looking good so far. We've been proving a lot. If we keep up with the good work, we can definitely win this season.
Oh! No! Got it! How do I lose after Nicky gets 1?
We blocked more 5 meters than any other goal in state.
Just saying. This is your first year at Chapman. How long did it take for you to become such an integral part of this offense?
Since I was playing OCC before, I was kind of used to the style of playing here, so I adapted really quick. It just took me like a couple weeks.
All right, so he got the best of me there, but I think it'd be hilarious to see us racing inner tubes. Who won? Coming from Brazil into America, what's the difference in the style of play in water polo?
Something that's really big is the way the referees are.
So in Brazil, they just sort of let people play more?
Yeah, definitely. Internationally, in general, not just in Brazil.
All right, well, my first one of the year, even I couldn't get it done against the athletes. They're still undefeated. Kevin Dyan, Athlete of the Week. Michael Hofling, Chapman News. Back to you, Tim.
You have no idea how happy I am that Hof bought this. Better luck next time, man. Another athlete we'd like to highlight this week is football player Hunter Spriggs. Hunter has been battling leukemia since this summer and has opted to receive treatment here in Orange, away from his hometown outside of Sacramento, in order to stay with his teammates while he fights his illness. We sat down with Hunter last week to learn more about his story.
Good job, Mo. So I have CML leukemia. I caught it in the first stage, but I caught it in what was kind of known as dead man's land. So I had a stage 1 cancer, which was like really good news. Kind of the scary news was the fact that I should have died a long time ago. I had a white blood cell count in the 300s when it should have been 5. The doctor said that my spleen and kidneys and liver should have all burst. I should have had a stroke or a heart attack, you know, just all these different things, but like somehow I was still there, and I told myself I need to make the most of this. I was supposed to be in the hospital for about a month, and I told the doctor on the second day, I said, I'm gonna get out in a week. He said, no, you're not. Within a week, I was let out of the hospital, and I was on my way. I said, the next step is, I want to come back and play football. All these people from back home said I wouldn't be able to play, and I said, I'm gonna play football. If you come out here during a practice, I'm gonna be running. I'm gonna be, you know, doing drills on my own to make sure I can get back and be ready to go full speed when the spring comes. And it's a process, you know, it really hurts, you know, sometimes I'm in a lot of pain, but you know, I can't let that get to me, I can't let that stop me. You know, this is something I gotta fight through and through.
Every day when you look there and he's running like the rest of the guys are running, he's in the huddle, he's encouraging guys. You know, he's maintaining that connection that he has with this football team. And it's not just, you know, it's not just that he's out there. He's an important part of what we do. He's an integral part of who we are.
Having him around now, it's kind of, especially when it gets tough out here, we just realize how fortunate we are to even have the opportunity to play here. And he's just an icon of motivation for us, so it's just good to have him around, boost morale.
And these guys always make sure, you know, to like let me know that like when I'm pushing myself, you know, trying to work out and get back, you know, that it's okay, I can take a break, you know, that what I'm doing is, you know, not only encouraging them to like push themselves, but you know, it's just helping me like get better. They're not even friends to me, like they're my family, you know, not by blood, but by, you know, trust and loyalty, and I love them for that. A lot of people have told me, you know, I would never, you know, think that you had cancer, you know, for various reasons. So you always have like a smile on your face, and, you know, I just tell them, you know, that's part of the mentality. You know, if you frown and just have a bad attitude about it, you're not going to get better. Like you're going to feel like crap every day. I mean, you're going to feel like crap regardless, but do you want to feel like crap with a smile on your face, doing what you love, or do you want to feel bad and, you know, just sitting at home complaining about your life? A lot of what's helped me through is just kind of the mentality of a lot of people, you know, throughout my life have said, you know, you won't be this, you won't be that, you won't be good at anything, you know, after this, and people are like, oh, you'll never be able to come back, and, you know, that just, when I heard someone say that, I snapped, and there's this chip back on my shoulder again, and it was like, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna finish playing football, I'm gonna do what I need to get done, and I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Absolutely awesome. My favorite thing about Hunter is that he is not only working to fight off his illness, but also to work back onto the football field. He is an inspiration to both athletes and non-athletes alike. Thank you, Hunter, for letting us tell a portion of your story. For those of you looking to see the fine Chapman Athletics programs in action with your own eyes, there are some home games coming up for you to mark down in your calendars. First off, we have football hosting the Redlands Bulldogs at home on Saturday in a game that senior defensive back Chris Williams told me he thinks will ultimately decide the SCIAC Conference Championship. Catch me doing color commentary for that one on our very own Chapman Sports Broadcast Network. Next up is a Tuesday Panther doubleheader with women's volleyball taking on Caltech and men's water polo squaring off against Claremont Mud Scripps. The pool and the volleyball gym are only a short walk away from each other, so feel free to bounce between these matchups and get your fill of Panther athletes. And finally on Wednesday, women's soccer will look to defend home turf against Claremont Mud Scripps. Plenty of games for you guys to see this week here on Chapman's campus. That's all for me today. I'm Tim Wolf. Thanks for watching the Best Campus Sports Show. Now back to Michael and Brenny at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Tim. Coming up, a heartwarming tribute to a music icon. Plus, a carpool to work you don't want to miss. Our reporter Matt Peterson has all the details.
And how has Latin American art made its way to Chapman? Find out, coming up.
Stand up for what's right. Chapman University. Passion, perseverance, teamwork, integrity. Create value in the world. The School of Law at Chapman University. Lead.
Never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Thingy.
Welcome back to Chapman News. Here's Matt Peterson with all things entertainment for the week.
Thanks, Hof. Well, this is American Idol. How was that? Pretty good?
4 out of 10.
All right, well, I do still have a few more months to get it right before the American Idol reboot airs on ABC early next year. Luke Bryan and Lionel Richie will join Katy Perry at the infamous judges table, and they warmed up their seats for the very first time in New York City. With only one night of auditions underneath their belt, these new judges feel pretty confident that they will have a lot to offer to the contestants this season.
As far as the lucky ones on the other end, those artists that are coming in front of us are going to get a PhD degree real fast in the education part of it.
Well, you know, if Katy Perry needs any judging advice, she could reach out to her friend Miley Cyrus, who's currently judging this season of The Voice. Although I'm not sure if Miley would return her call this week, as she's been pretty busy herself. She hosted Miley Week on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, dropped her new album Younger Now, and on Wednesday, she even helped James Corden get to work on time in the carpool lane.
But don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I've never been so hard in love.
Oh, sorry, I was just singing along. But, well, James, if you ask me, that looks like the best commute to work ever, and I'm pretty jealous. So this past Wednesday was National Girls' Day, and what a better way to celebrate than by welcoming girls into the Boy Scouts of America. The leaders of the Boy Scout organization announced on Wednesday that it will allow girls into the ranks for the first time in nearly 100 years. Chief Scout Executive Michael Serbach explained that the latest decision is an attempt to bring more families into the Boy Scouts, whose membership has declined by about a third since the early 2000s. Serbach stated that the values of scouting are relevant for both important for young men and women. However, the Girl Scouts of the USA criticized the initiative, saying that this strains a century-old bond between the two organizations. Girl Scout officials have suggested that the Boy Scouts move was purely driven by financial problems and a need to boost revenue. You know, today's fashion just got a whole lot yummier. Forever 21 just released its new Taco Bell clothing collection after a glamorous runway show held Tuesday night in Los Angeles. An Irvine-based Taco Bell has released photos of its first ever fashion apparel collection, which includes tanks, hoodies, graphic tees, all with tacos on them. That sounds like my dream come true. Forever 21 is known for its inexpensive fashion apparel, and with the new Taco Bell clothing, that's going to be no different. They're just thinking outside the box, which is exactly what late rock legend Tom Petty always did. Our reporter Jessica Metter has a story on the past, present.
Tom Petty was so much more than just a musician. He was a rock and roll icon. With a career spanning more than half a century, Petty was praised as a musical poet. As the news spread that the everyman rock star was truly gone, tributes poured in. Fellow traveling Wilbury Bob Dylan called the news shocking, crushing, saying, "I thought the world of Tom. He was a great performer, full of the light, and a friend, and I'll never forget him." Bruce Springsteen said he's devastated, adding, "I've always felt a deep kinship with his music, a great songwriter and performer. Whenever we saw each other, it was like running into a long-lost brother." But when Petty thought of his own legacy, he was always humble.
Doing the best I can, you know. You can't say I didn't try really.
Thanks for that, Jess. That's it from me. I'm gonna go listen to Tom Petty's greatest hits, probably while driving to Forever 21. Let's head on back over to the desk.
Thanks, Matt. Well, one thing's for sure, Tom Petty's legacy won't back down.
Without a doubt, one of the best voices of his generation, surely an inspirational artist. And speaking of art, a legacy is being continued right here on our campus as the son of a famous Orange County artist leaves his own mark on the community.
Art students may have already noticed a new art installation outside the Guggenheim Gallery, a mural entitled Visions of Chapman, Education, Diversity, and Community. The painting, which will depict founder Charles C. Chapman, University Presidential Fellow Elie Wiesel, students, and notable alumni, is painted by Higgy Vasquez, son of the acclaimed Orange County Chicano artist Emigdio Vasquez.
So I was a child when I used to see him paint pictures onto a canvas, and I thought it was so fascinating because the pictures kind of came to life.
In 2013, Chapman acquired a building featuring a mural done by the older Vasquez in 1979. His son Higgy was soon commissioned to restore the 60-foot-long painting to its former glory.
We know all along that there was something special about this place, and that's what was special about it is it has this historic mural on it. Purchasing it, we knew that we had a responsibility to the mural to take care of it.
Upon further inspection of Vasquez's work, the Guggenheim Gallery decided to feature his oil paintings alongside contemporary artists in an exhibit entitled My Barrio, meaning my neighborhood.
We thought it might be a good idea to propose it as a Getty PST LALA project.
Pacific Standard Time is a collection of exhibits on Latin American and Chicano art in Southern California backed by the Getty Museum.
Chicano art is similar to pop art. So what it is kind of cross-cultural art, I would say.
More information on the artist and some of his inspiration can also be viewed on display on the second floor of Ardros Forum.
I think if my dad could see me now, what I'm doing here, I think he would be very proud of me.
To learn more, you can download an iPhone app created by Chapman students, which functions as a self-guided tour through Emigdio Vasquez's work around Orange. Students are also welcome to come by the Moulton Hall courtyard and watch this mural on its journey to completion in spring of 2018. I'm Alana Williams, reporting from the Guggenheim Gallery, Chapman News.
This is one of Chapman's first projects aimed at preserving the original culture of the town of Orange.
That's our show for today. We hope you have a wonderful day, Orange County.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and visit our website at chapmannews.tv. I'm Michael Hoflin.
And I'm Brenny Seipolt. Thanks for watching Chapman News.
I'm going to adjust these papers now.